continue to make pledges to win voters at various campaign rallies. Owners of Islamic schools directed to take precautions against fire incidents. And in sports, Mbwana Samatta says he will culminate his career with the Tanzania's 2022 World Cup qualifier. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get started with the national news. Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM's presidential candidate, Dr. John Magufuli, has said that in 5 years the government has controlled incidents of armed crime in Kagera region, enabling residents to engage in economic activities. He urged them to re-elect him so that they can continue to benefit from development projects.
Kagera is one of the strategic regions and is faced with a lot of challenges, and more so in crime. A few years ago, it was impossible to travel in this region at night, but today it is possible. There has been a reduction and some are completely dealt with. All schools must take into consideration safety and that the law is observed on issues concerning fire safety so that such tragedies should not be experienced again. We are constructing health centers, road projects and water which unite this nation. Those who are politically bankrupt want to confine water pipes in constituencies. Therefore, on October 28th, you must not give votes to them.
A day after the director of the National Electoral Commission, NEC, Dr. Charles Mahera, warned political parties and candidates against the use of offensive language, the presidential candidate for Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo Chadema Party, Tundu Lissu, has urged the commission to be just and fair to all parties.
Yesterday, the head of the election, who is also the chief executive of the National Electoral Commission, Dr. Wilson Mahela Charles, has said that the political parties that are using words intended to disrupt peace, the Electoral Commission will punish them, going as far as to stop them from campaigning. In the whole country, the Commission has removed Chadema Party candidates for the councillor seats, 1,025, and 55 candidates for parliamentary seats, while the Commission has not removed not a single candidate from CCM Party.
And the presidential candidate for Sautia Umasau, Muta Mwega Bat Mgaiwa, has pledged to improve the lives of lower-income citizens, including improving their residential areas by using funds from resources found in the country, including minerals, if he is elected as President of the United Republic of Tanzania.
I will not touch your money. It will be for your own use. So you can build a house in Tandale. There will be a change in Tandale. It will be like Masaki. Tanzania belongs to all of us. Why should you live in suffering when someone else is living in air condition? We want you to have a choice even on what you eat. My policy for Tandale will be on settlement. Women of Tandale, I'm your savior who has come to you. I will be with you. My party's policy states that we will help women. We will give you loans so that you can raise your children, and this loan will be interest-free.
An ACT Wazalendo Party presidential candidate, Bernard Membe, while speaking in Mikocheni, Dar es Salaam, has said the whereabouts of his aide, Jerome Luvanda, who was kidnapped by unknown assailants and had his home ransacked has not yet been established.
Tunamhitaji Jerome Luanda.
We want him to be released and return home safe. Otherwise, the second press conference will be held tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I can't speak about this more in detail, which I've received and will do so in the course of the night. I will not leave this matter until he is found alive and safe. It is my hope that he will come back safe.
Apatikane akiwa hai, akiwa salama na mtu anajiamini.
The president of Zanzibar and chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein, has led Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM party in the launch of election campaigns in Pemba Island at Wagombani Kongwe grounds.
All of you know Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, his qualities, his ability, and his patriotism. I know there are wrongs going on within our community, sexual harassment and abuse of children. It is something that I'm told exists in our community. This must be fought. Illegal drugs are everywhere. People being denied their fundamental rights. This is still being practiced in some areas.
And the National Muslim Council of Tanzania has directed all Islamic school owners and leaders take precautions by improving school infrastructure and security, while also urging the public and Muslims to be patient as defense and security organs continue with investigations into the cause of fires in Muslim schools.
Natoa maagizo na maelekezo kwa wamiliki wote wa shule.
I'm instructing all school owners and their leaders to strengthen security in schools and to take precaution, but also to improve school infrastructure, including electrical systems, school area to be enclosed, etc. The National Muslim Council of Tanzania is still waiting for an official report from the safety organs regarding these incidences. I urge all Muslims and Tanzanians at large to be patient during this period.
Linaendelea kusubiri taarifa rasmi.
Residents of Nanyogi in Mkomazi Ward, Korogwe District, Tanga region have urged the government to build them a permanent bridge in their villages as they currently use canoes to cross the river, which is filled with wildlife such as crocodiles and hippopotamuses.
Na kwenye maji hayo kuna wanyama wakali. Kuna mamba wanasumbua sana.
Crocodiles are giving us a hard time. We spoke with other residents about acquiring a boat which should help us in crossing over.
Kulikuwa na hata manyoka makubwa walikuja kwenye.
There were very big snakes in this river and it became difficult to cross over. What is needed is for the bridge to be repaired. I will bring experts with experience and will conduct a survey and decide what should be prioritized. Given the severity of this matter, I will look into it immediately so you can be safe.
The Commissioner General of Immigration in the country, Dr. Anna Makakala, has said that the force, in collaboration with other defense organs as well as the National Identification Authority, NIDA, are continuing to work quickly on appeals submitted by some residents of Kigoma region who have not received NIDA numbers. She also urged residents to report foreign nationals entering the country illegally.
One major challenge is for those who have not yet received national identity cards. We were well prepared in this regard, but unfortunately during the COVID-19 period, which slowed us down, but after the election, we will continue with the issuance of national identity cards. We are approaching the election and people should not think that We are just concerned about the election. As safety and security organ, our duty is to make sure that our borders and this country remain safe. The issue on national identity cards is still a big concern, but we tell them that it is not a process that can be rushed. So there is a need for patience in this regard. We still don't have NIDA numbers, which is hard for us when you go to register a new number.
That's all for the national news. International news is next. And now in international news. The flight ban dispute between Kenya and Tanzania has been resolved after the latter included Tanzania as among 147 countries whose passengers will be allowed to enter Kenya without undergoing mandatory quarantine as health measurements against COVID-19. And the Ministry of Health in Burundi has started to implement training programs at the laboratory department in order to improve efficiency of COVID-19 testing.
Because they helped us in the tuberculosis testing, they will help us also in coronavirus testing. They're experienced and know how to protect themselves.
Coronavirus.
Youth from the Lucha movement in Beni, the Democratic Republic of Congo, have announced that they will start a search operation for ADF rebels in collaboration with government forces, claiming that the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the country, MONUSCO, has failed to ensure security in the area.
We were asked to write a placard showing we are the people of Congo and we are ready to support our army. We'll go to the forest to look for the enemy, wherever he is, and we will use weapons just like he does.
As pressure mounts in Europe following a fire that destroyed the Moria refugee camp on the island of Lesbos, in Germany, the government discusses a plan to take in around 1,500 migrants from the Greek Isles, as EU member states are also set to meet to discuss a common European response. Emmanuel Schaase from our partner Deutsche Welle joins us now with more. So, Emmanuel, why is migration still a controversial issue in Germany?
Well, you know, you have to remember that 5 years ago, there was something that was very defining here in Germany when Chancellor Angela Merkel said, "Wir schaffen das," we can do this. And by that, she meant that Germany would be able to handle a strong influx of migrants that suddenly came in the summer of 2015. And Germany took in fact, far more migrants than any other European countries. And as a result, German society became very polarized. We saw the rise of the far right, we saw the rise of racist attacks. Even if 60% of Germans view favorably the arrival of refugees in their country, there's still 40% who don't, and some people who still fear to this day that Germany would do more than any other EU member state. And in fact, I remember I was seeing a wave of solidarity here in Germany 5 years ago, but there was also a backlash, and administrations were struggling to cope with the influx of refugees. Emergency centers were completely overflown at the time, but even 5 years on, you can see that half of the refugees that came at that time found a job. And last week, as Moria camp burned in the island of Lesbos, well, more than 170 cities here across Germany, so German citizens protesting and calling out the German government to do more and to take in more refugees.
Now, with what has happened, what is the current plan from the government?
Well, as it stands now, Germany decided that it would take in more than 1,500 asylum seekers, people whose asylum application has already been accepted. We're talking about families with children. They will be prioritized and they will be taken in by different region states. And this comes on top of the 400 refugees that the European Union had said it would take in the immediate aftermath of the fire in Moria camp on the island of Lesbos. But Greece actually asks for more help, since in Moria alone we are talking about more than 12,000 asylum seekers stranded, and that's only one Greek island among many where refugees continue to arrive.
So for years, Chancellor Merkel has called for a joint European solution. Why has this not been achieved yet?
Well, this depends on a common migration policy from Brussels. And in Brussels, precisely, EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen confirmed that there would be talks about establishing a refugee camp run by Greek authorities and European agencies next week. And EU Council Chief Charles Michel said that the EU must provide a just and a strong and an efficient response to the migration problem. But the thing is that here in Europe, opinions between EU member states are divided on the question. You have countries which are first responders, like Greece, like Italy, like Spain, demanding that other EU states do take in more asylum seekers. And then you have other countries, such as Hungary and Poland, who are totally opposed to it. And at the same time, you know, it has been years now that the EU has been trying to limit the influx of refugees with its border police Frontex in the Mediterranean Sea. They haven't been successful in doing so, and they also haven't been successful at agreeing on a common migration policy.
Well, thank you very much, Emmanuel, for that update. And until next time, have a good day and stay safe. That special report ends our international news. We'll be back with business news after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and now in business news. The Ministry of Agriculture has launched a special program aimed at supporting farmers to grow commercial crops as well as to be able to meet market demands.
There is a big contribution in determining the type of food consumers use. The difference in this flour with the ordinary one is that it has additional nutrients. Ministry of Agriculture is one of the ministries dealing with nutrition, so as a ministry it is our duty to produce various crops, but that we are focused on production of crops with nutrients.
And cattle farmers from Boreni Village, High District, Kilimanjaro region are facing shortage of quality dairy cow breeds, contributing to low production of milk.
Changamoto tulizonazo ni mbegu bora za mifugo ambazo hatuna kabisa.
We don't have good cattle breed, otherwise we would be having more milk. The government should look into providing us with good milk cattle breed so we get a The presence of this factory has opened a lot of opportunities in Arusha as farmers have a ready market.
Zimetokeza kwenye mkoa wa Arusha na Kilimanjaro kwa wakulima kupata soko wa uhakika wa maziwa yao.
Tanzania Revenue Authority TRA has continued with its door-to-door taxpayer campaign in Karagwe District, Kagera region, with entrepreneurs saying they have benefited from the campaign.
I'm happy to see as stakeholders we've had people from Tanzania Revenue Authority come and visit us so as to address challenges faced. They reminded me to pay September tax because I had forgotten that the deadline is on the 30th.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
And now in sports news. Aston Villa forward Mbwana Samatta has declared Tanzania's 2022 World Cup qualification would be the culmination of his career. Here's more.
Africans have never qualified for the World Tournament, and Samatta will have the daunting task of helping them achieve just that, as the country looks upon him for inspiration. The former Simba Sports Club centre forward became the first Tanzanian to sign for Premier League side in January 2020. To him, Diver Stars qualification for the Qatar World Cup will be a proper way to crown an adventurous career.
And Tanzania Football Federation TFF has signed a 1-year sponsorship deal with KCB Bank to extend its 500 million sponsorship of the 2020-2021 Premier League season.
On behalf
of TFF and the League Board, we are happy to proceed with KCB in supporting football. You should know that you're giving back to the society. I see you as champions of giving back to the community, because when you give back to the society, the credit goes back to you.
Emi Martinez has left Arsenal after his £20 million transfer to Aston Villa was confirmed. Here is the story.
The goalkeeper played regularly at the end of last season and started in the Ghana's FA Cup final victory over Chelsea at Wembley in August. However, manager Mikel Arteta has chosen Bernd Leno as his number 1 for the coming season, leading Martinez to end his long association with Arsenal and seek first-team action elsewhere. Villa confirmed that Martinez has joined on a 4-year contract, and it is expected that the Argentina international will serve as their first-choice keeper this season as they look to avoid another relegation dogfight, having only stayed up on the final day in 2019-2020.
And Tottenham is set to sign the Real Madrid left-back Sergio Reguilon for £27.6 million after Manchester United refused to accept the La Liga club's insistence on a buyback clause.
The defender, who has one cap for Spain and spent last season on loan at Sevilla, was keen on playing Champions League football with United this season. But as soon as United made their stance clear regarding the buyback clause, the player's representatives stepped up negotiations with Tottenham. Spurs have agreed personal terms with the 23-year-old on a contract until June 2025 and have accepted a buyback clause of about €45 million. But the final figure will depend on the incentivized add-ons included in the deal. Real have also demanded a clause that they get the opportunity to match any bid Tottenham accept for the player.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and good night.